Okay, Chaver, I apologize for the late Chazarah, but I guess as they say, better late than never. So we're holding in the bottom over here of Chavav and Beis. We can do a quick week Chazarah. I hope everyone gets a chance to watch and listen in Chazar before Shir Monday night. Pirchei Kuna Ish Ksasai Ba'aretz asks the Gemara Amai. The Gemara says, read through the Mishnah and you see a clear issue. Hasam Karli Raivim, Harchei Karli Pirchei Kuna. When you read through the Mishnah, you get two different definitions of young Kohanim. On one hand, the Mishnah refers to them as Roivim, and then the other hand, the Mishnah refers to them as Pirchei Kuna. Were they Roivim? Were they Pirchei Kuna? What is going on over here? So says the Gemara, as we turn over to Chav Zayin, Amid Aleph, Amri, they explained, which again we said that is a teret, incorrect. Hasam Dlamatu Lavid Avodah. Karlu Raivim, if they're not old enough to do the avodah, what are they doing? They're doing the shmira. Then they're called Raivim. Therefore they're called Pirchei. Continues the Gemara Tanan awesome. We learned over there in the Mishnah, three places the Kanim guard the Beis Hamikdash, Beis Avtinas, Beis Anitzas, Beis Hamoikad, Valavim. Lavim in 21 places. Hey, Alei Shari Habayis, 5 in the 5 Yitzhak Habayis, Tel Dabinos Bimifnim. Hey, Alei Shari Zar, Vidal Dabinos Bimbachotz, Echavlishkas Hakarbon, Vechalishkas Habarechas, Echadakur, Basic Apoiris. So, Minahani Mili. So, says the Gemara 10 lines down, the first one line is Minahani Mili. What is the Mikar for these 21 places that the Levium watch? Amrav Yuda Mesura, Vamila Masnita, Tanatachsip. Lemiz Rachalvim Shishlas finally Emarbol and Egvali Emarbol Asofim Shnaim Shem Lepar Volamar Varbol Misila Shnayim Lepar. Says the Gemara, that is our pasuk. Ask the Gemara, do a little bit of math. Amri Hani Chav Dalad. That's not 21, that's 24. So says the Gemara, two Terutzim. Teretz number 1. Amar Abayi explains Abayi Hachi Kamar. What's going on over here in the pasuk? The way you learn the pasuk is when it says Lasufim Shnayim Shnayim. Says Abayi, it's really only 2, not 2 and 2, which is 4. Says Gemara Shkayach Hakati Asim Vitreyavu, so it's 22, not 24. Explains the Gemara. The last end of the pasuk said Parva is Shnayim. Really, it's 1, but it said there is 2. Correct, there's 2 people. 1 shomer. V'achrin, and the other guys, Savasu just keeping him company. V'yasav Kabeh, and he's sitting with him. Mishom, why? The Koyav Rai, since it's outside, and therefore we give him a friend to keep him company. And we learn this from the word itself, says the Gemara. Maila Parvar, Amrabar Shila, Kamandamar Kalape Bar. So Abayi's teretz is the 24, and the pasuk really is 21. As 2 and 2 is really only 2. 24 minus 2 is 22. Minus another one, as the parva is only 1. And the second guy is just keeping him company. Says really it was 24. As we said, 3 of them are Kehanim, and 21 are Leviim. Says the Gemara, what do you mean? The pasuk says Lemizrach HaLeviim. So how can you tell me it means Kehanim and Levi? Explains the Gemara, Rav Shub Levi, Rav Shub Levi. B'chav dalin me'koymes nikru kan Levim ze'echad me'em v'koyanim v'Levim b'nei tzadok, which by the way was last week's haftarah. Anyone who's paying attention, and that's what we get 21. And we continue smack in the middle of the Amid at the 2 dots. The Gemara quotes the Braisa Chamisha Arbayis Varbal Barbinais Mitoicha Hel Shar Varbal Barzinas Mibachot. So if you learn and you read carefully, you're struck by an issue. When it comes to Harabayis, it says Mitoichai. When it comes to the Azara, it says Mibachotz. Asks the Gemara, why is one an inside, one an outside? Amri explains the Gemara, Harabayis. If you want to sit down, you also be allowed to sit in Harabayis. Therefore, so they're inside the wall of Harabayis. Whereas the Azara, the halach of the Azara is if you want to sit down, Lamatzi also you're not allowed to sit down. Why? Only the kings of David are allowed to sit down in the Azara. Therefore, therefore they watched on the outside. Continues the Gemara quoting the Bryce. Amar Mar. Hey, al hey shari Azara. 5 in the 5 gates of the Azara, clearly implying how many gates of the Azara were there? 5. Says the Gemara, hey Sharmu David Bazar, really were there 5? Ramin will ask you a stira contradiction. Zayin Shar Mayu Bazar, says the Bryce. Gimel Basafa Gimel Daran Vechem Mizrach 3 and 1 is 7. So says the Gemara. Amar Abaye Teretz one Tremi Nayu Lo Tzrich Shimer. Two of them don't need Shimer. Why do two of them not need Shimer? Because they were next door to each other. Teretz number one of Abaye. Rava comes along and Rava says, no, that's not the reason why the pasuk says 7. Tanoyi, it's machlekes tanoyim. Titania is learned in a rice. Ein Barichas Amida Gim Muzar Midizayim and Marklin. Rav Nassan Ein Barichas Amida Gim Gizbarim Y13. Kineged. Yugimel Sharim Dal Chamisha de Harabayis. So 13 minus 5 of the Harabayis is 8. Pashlu Tamanya da Zara. So Alma, what do we see? Says the Gemara, there's three opinions. Vikatan Damar Tamanya, Vikat Ave Vitan Damar Shiva, Vikatan Damar Chamisha. By three different opinions, how many gates there were on the Harabayis. Continues 12 lines to the bottom. Big Day Kodesh. We said they did not sleep in the Big Day Kodesh. Says the Gemara, Shina. The clear implication is, Shino who delay. They didn't sleep in their Big Day Kodesh. It sounds like they could walk around in their Big Day Kodesh, which opens up a can of worms, as the Gemara then says, Shmatz, that would imply Big Day couldn't so you should have a raya that you could get benefits from the Big Day Kahuna. Explains the Gemara, Amri, again, Amri being an answer. No, you're really not allowed to walk even in the Big Day Kuna. Why did it say you shouldn't sleep in them? Should the Bible they save? Because the end of the end of the Mishnah, that said, they folded and put them under their heads. So the Risha says they didn't sleep in them. Says Mer, okay, you answered up the Risha, the Seifa, but the Seifa, Gufa Kasha itself is Shver. Why? What does the Seifa say? The Seifa says, Shema, what do we see from there for the fact that the Seifa says you put underneath your head? Make they couldn't in the husband? Answers the Gemara, a bit of a dichoy. It's true, it says Tachas. But Ema says the Gemara, Neged Rashem, it means opposite their head. Says Rapapa, okay. So you have no raya, you could get benefit. But Amar Rapapa, you do have a raya too, 5 lines from the bottom. Shema, no. Clearly, you're allowed to put something next to your head, and we're not worried you're going to roll over on top of it. Says the Gemara, and guess what? This is mistaver. So Rav Papa answered, number 1, could you get benefit? The answer is no. Number 2, could you put it next to your head? The answer is yes. So a lower level, we're not as worried. On this lower level, you can put it next to your head. Says the Gemara, Hachanami mistavra. This is logical. The Kinyan Mesechtah that you put it next to your head. The Amar Dachs Hashem. Because if you're going to say you put it underneath your head, honest man, very good. You can get benefit from it. But why are we now worried about the problem that Lamaisa Big Day Kuna, as we'll see momentarily, contains some element of kalayim, some element of shatnez? So how would you be allowed to put it onto your head and even lie down on top of it? Says the Gemara as we turn over Chav Zayin Amud Beis. If it's a different belt, it's not shatnez. It's not part of our conversation. And then you're going to add and then you're going to the same belt. Michael and Mamer, because they contain shatnez. So you see you're allowed to lie in it. Says Mer, 1 second. Maybe shatnez is only usher to wear it or put it on top of you. But to put it underneath you, perhaps shaper dummy, that is allowed. Says Mer, it can't be. Tani learned in a brisa. Don't put it on top of you, but allowed to put it underneath you. Midaraisa. They taught us. Midaraisa. It's true you're allowed to put it underneath you, but midarabana, they're geyser. Why? Because one thread might come onto your skin. Maybe you'll tell me the mafsik midi. Maybe you'll tell me there was a separation between the shatnez and that which you're sitting upon. Says the Gemara, it can't be, and this was our hard homework that I hope everyone watched and everyone looked into. From Yeshua ben Levi and Yosi ben Shal Mishum Kili Kedisha B'Yushalayim. That what? Fil Eser Matzah Zul Gavzu Klaim Tachteim Aser Lishan Aleim. 10 matches with the claim underneath all of them. You're not allowed to lie on top of it. We said this is the Makar, of course, for Princess and the Pea. Those who have not yet did their homework, I hope they do it quickly. Eloshmami no neged rashehem. So if you go through all the steps, it can't be the something separating because it's still aser. It's true, it's not also deraisa to be underneath you, but it's still an aser derabanan. Why? So one thread might come on top of you. And according to the Mandamer, that they're the same beged, then the avnate would be a problem. Teretz number 1. The Bayisema, 13 lines down. The first one line is Bayisema, Teres number 2. Bayisa chain ben Kalayim. I'll just tell you, we're talking about the Kalim that don't have Kalayim. Teres number 3, Ravashi Amar, says Ravashi, really? Big Dekuna Kashin Hain. Another Teretz. The whole Shash was that one thread might come upon you, but the big Dekuna were hard, they were stiff, therefore we don't have that concern. Damar Avuna Brei Yeshua. Hanantigam the dinar sharia is a hard material, therefore we don't have to be worried that it will come up onto your leg. And therefore, those are the 3 ways to explain whether we would not have a raya from a big dekuna that you could be next to your head. This was all on the Hachanami Mistavra, a raya that it's next to your head. It says the Gemara, not necessarily. Either it's those that don't have kalayim or big dekuna kashinheim, and therefore we don't have a raya. We'll pick it up from the 2 dots tomorrow night 8 p.m. or if you listen to this on Monday, tonight at 8 p.m. in Mirza Hashem.